Welcome back, guys. I have a great thing to do today and a horrible thing to do today. And it's great because I've got a cougar in for an open mouth rug. The rancher took out harassing cattle. However, I have a bummed shoulder and it's been bummed for a while and it's tore up and needs surgery to fix. And this job needs to get done today because it's fully thought out. And I'm going to be sore for weeks after this, probably until Christmas. So enjoy the video. I will do this. Probably it's one of the last things I'll do in December here. That's anything of significance, and look forward to seeing how it turns out. Take care, guys. Well, if anybody out there has ever skinned a cougar, you can see what I did there at first. I pulled a handful of porcupine quills out of the bottom jaw of this mountain lion. In our area, I don't know if it's North America wide, but in our area, I guarantee you will never, ever, ever skin a cougar without finding a boatload of porcupine quills. They love them. So that's what I was doing at first. Here I am, of course, starting with the face. It's always the first part I start with. Did the nose on the top and the bottom jaw. You can see I'm starting just working it back the same way I've done every other animal. Flipping it back and forth, just getting into the cheek pocket. You can see it's all working pretty good. Very, very short snout, of course. They're a big predator. But yeah, started off with that. Just give my blade a quick sharpening, and being that it's a rug, of course, I'll do a H cut the same way you would with any animal, whether it's a bear or a cougar or a wolf. You can see I started at the top foot there out of frame, but up the back of the leg where the hairlines meet or the colors change. You can see I'm just going up the left leg now. Same typical thing you do on every single rug out there. Just work your way up. So I go in between the vent and the tail. And you can see right now I'm just going up the front of the belly, being that it's on my table rather than hanging up or anything because I'm working around my shoulder. A little bit awkward, but worked my way up there. And I'm just finding my place marks there on the inside of the elbows. Working down the back of the elbow. You can see I turn up the elbow across the chest. And just working up. You can see the back of the leg there where the hair colors change. Very typical for a typical rug. Just start working up the belly. That's where I like to start sometimes. Give the blade a quick edge. And it was 95% thawed. It had been cold out. And the cougar was shot a couple days prior, so it was cold. So I couldn't get a really good stretch on the skin as I was pulling, but it's a little bit crystally, but enough that I could work with it, and it had to get done right away. So work into the groin there, work up the back of the leg. Basically just very easily pulling on the hide, same way you do with the whole thing, creating your gap, creating your pulled skin, cutting through it, and then I'm going to basically just cut the ankle bones on front and back legs as I get to them, rather than trying to do the paws on. So just a quick little saw cut, done, back leg finished. Just move on to the front leg on my close side. Just working into the armpit. This is where the hole was, where it was shot. So I'm working around that. You get a little bit of blood and concussive damage to the blood, so you kind of have a hard time finding the hairline sometimes, but it wasn't too bad at all. It was shot with a 223. Yeah, work up the front of the leg, creating my gap right there. I'll cut the leg. Piece of cake. That way I can do all these paws afterwards and not trying to move the whole body around and make it a bit easier on myself. So I'll work down the spine a little bit there, expose the back of the tail a little bit right there. Just keep working down on this side. I actually use little Henkel brand paring knives for skinning. I had a guy show me once. They're like a $7 knife, but you can keep a pretty good edge on them. And the little sharpener I have there is a Warthog sharpener. It just keeps the edge on it. They're cheap knives, but they work really good. I usually have 2 or 3 in my shop at one time. Man, like I'll use like a scalpel for any face detail, ears, lips, that kind of thing. But just a general skinning, these little paring knives are so good, so handy that you can see I can just whip through, exposing the belly there, piece of cake. And I seem to find they work really good. They're good size, the blade's good length. You can see I'm just exposing the back leg here. I already did across the belly into the side. And I'll do the same thing. I'll expose my little air gap behind the back calf. And I'll cut that bone and expose that foot as well. You can see when I'm working here, I can't really reach over with my right hand and do anything. My right shoulder's bummed. I need surgery again. I had one and it failed, but I'm having a hard time. I can't really reach with my right shoulder. So I'm got to work close. I got to bend over. I got to really adjust. It gets so tired so easy. And I'm doing the voiceover here about a week after I filmed this. And I literally have not been able to do much at all in my shop since this. And my shoulders get so sore. So it was important to get done, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting my shoulder fixed. So here I'm working up the back of the far side of the front leg, just across the back. You can see where it's already exposed along the spine there. It's already done. The tail's still attached, but everything else is loose. Just going to expose the front of the arm there, cut through, piece of cake, and I'll just peel this back, work it down to the front shoulder. Very, very easy. Very simple, guys. Piece of cake. Some guys work from the vent down to the tip of the tail. I find with these big cats, the tail's so beefy, you can really start halfway and just go up. I'm just trying to cut away from myself. That's what is the comfortable way to cut right now. If I could get this spun around, I definitely would cut from the base of the tail to the tip, but with the way I'm working and my arm and the desk and stuff at the table, it's just what seemed to work best for me. So I cut up, there you go. I exposed the back side. I'm gonna get my little tail stripper, my little orange thing, and just peel the very tip of the tail off. There you go. I'll just slide my V-tool in, cut the remainder of the tail, open it up, and we're good to go. Move on to the head. I had to expose a bit more of the left side of the neck on this cat. I couldn't quite get to it. You can see how I'm holding my elbow so close to me. I can't really reach over anything. It's so frustrating. But I didn't really get that part. So I had to expose that a bit more before I really could get to the head. So my trick here is, whether it's bear or a cougar or whatever, I'll lean the head over the edge of the table. I can kind of get to it and just allow the cape to pull on itself downwards. And allow me to, basically, I don't have to pull on the cape, it just exposes itself. So I basically work back and forth, just going on the base of the ear right there. And keep moving forward, down towards the eye. Then I'll do the other side, same thing, find the base of the ear, cut across the top of the skull, let the cape pull so it's easy to do and ready to go. The last little thing here is to do both eyes. I've exposed both cheeks. There you can see the left eye is exposed. Move over. Very carefully try to pull the right eye out. There we go. Piece of cake done. There you go, guys. Being that this is an open mouth rug, I don't really need that pad on the paw, but I did cut it out underneath it rather than just cutting it away. And I'm just exposing the bottom of the pad. You can see I'm going to do this same as I did the other paws on the wolf video. expose that fat pad, work down. There's, 4 main bones and you're good. So I'm just doing a general exposing of the ankle bones here, just to get to the actual tiny bones in the toes and the feet. And see, like I said, I'm using a scalpel now, just to get these little detailed cuts. So the first toe there, the seam is really easy to find. Just a little small side nips just to cut the main tendons inside. I'm not actually cutting the bone here, just exposing the tendon. And I'll just snip the little connective tissue in there. It's been a while since I've done a cougar, so a little rusty, but you can see it opened up there. Snip, done, piece of cake. On to the 4 toes. And just applying pressure on the top of the paw there, pulling that skin tight, just helps give me that break in the skin. And work underneath the toe pads here just to expose the toe bones. Just pull up easy, work each toe in there with the scalpel. You can see I just pressure back and forth, nothing crazy, same as the wolf, same as other animals. And then I can find the first knuckle on the outside 2 toes, snip the connective tissue, done, piece of cake. And I'll move over to the other side. So I do the 2 outside toes first. It's just how I was taught. And I'll just adjust the tissue there, snip, done. Now the middle toes. So work them down there a bit longer, so you gotta work them down a bit more. Then I'm gonna cut the underside tendons. And I'm gonna use my snips and pull on the bones, twist them, and it exposes the top portion of each bone. And that way I can find the tendons on the top and I can cut them. Just makes it really easy to work in there. So there I'm cutting the tendons on the top of the knuckle bone, cut the tissue, work over and cut the tendon on the top of that other second knuckle. I think I had a little bit problems with this one, but it wasn't too bad. Snip through. I'm not actually, like I said, not actually cutting the bone, just the connective tissue. So work out the gap in the middle and the paw's done. Just like that, guys. There's the claws.